steep increases it announced last month. However, the International Monetary Fund is pushing for more taxes to the commodity as a precondition for the government to secure the 255 billion shillings loan from the international lender. Here's KTN's Brenda Kerubo with an overview of what to expect.
In the March review, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, announced the highest increment in fuel prices in 9 years. Motorists in Nairobi, for instance, are paying 7 shillings and 63 cents per litre more for super petrol, 5 shillings and 75 cents more for diesel, and 5 shillings and 41 cents more for kerosene. The energy regulator said the pricing of petroleum is undertaken in accordance with the Energy Petroleum Pricing Regulations 2010, a formula for determining the landed cost of imported petroleum products, and thereafter other costs along the petroleum supply chain are added to arrive at the pump price. Such incremental costs include storage and distribution costs, supplier margins, taxes and levies. A review of the March fuel prices indicates taxes and levies contributed nearly 47% of the pump price of super petrol, 42.23% of diesel, and 40.42% of kerosene.
We are looking at two things. Mainly, one, the landed cost. I'm seeing it going up. Just looking at the price action in oil in the last 30 days to 45 days. And secondly, now that impact for the taxes and levies, because some of them are just added over and above the landed cost. So those two impacts, which already are taking an outsized contribution to the fuel pump prices, will still continue playing even in the upcoming review.
And if the International Monetary Fund has its way, motorists could be looking at even higher prices in future. The government has already made a commitment to the International Monetary Fund to undertake further tax measures that include value-added tax. IMF wants Kenya to impose a 16% VAT on fuels from the current 8%.
We want it to go back to 16%, but I don't think that the 16% will be affected with this current review because it has to go through a legislative process, and that will take a long time. It might be introduced in the Finance Act 2021. Who knows, or it might not be introduced, but it has to be passed first by Parliament before now it's affected. So what we're looking at from that perspective, the fuel tax VAT on fuel products will still remain at 8%, but nonetheless, the overall impact of landed costs and coupled with the taxes and levies that are still in play, we are seeing that there's a higher likelihood that the prices will go up in the upcoming review.
Fuel is a key component in the production of goods and services in the country. This in turn ripples through the economy, resulting in higher costs of the commodities. Brenda Kerubo, KTN News.
Well, that is how you prepare in regards to the fuel prices. The review coming this Wednesday due to the parameters that have been highlighted right there. The landed cost is not going down either way. Then the IMF situation, also there's a likelihood that prices will go higher. It's time that we tighten our seatbelts and get through this bumpy ride that we're going to be through. Well, in that regard, we have to stop right here on Business Today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Noah Kipkimbo. Have yourself a good afternoon.